I want to say the 17th of October, I lost the love of my life. And I don't know. I like to say that it hasn't been affecting me, but it has quite a bit. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. Just talking about it, like, puts a knot in my stomach. And, you know, but in a relationship, you're supposed to communicate with each other and, grow with each other. And in my in my case, that didn't really happen. I was always like, I would always shut down when there was a problem. Never really talked about my feelings and things like that. And I still struggle with that today. I mean, it's getting better, but I'm still struggling a lot. And, you know, in the beginning of a relationship, you're like, oh, this person's amazing. This experience is so new. I love everything about this person already. And it's like, that's not really love, like it's just you talking to someone, you know everything's like sunshine and roses, sorry. And like, I don't know. That's usually like 3 months. A lot of people call it like the honeymoon phase. But yeah. And like I wanna say like 6 months down the line, maybe even a little bit less, you're like, oh, I'm starting to kinda get the ick from this person. But like a lot of people tend to not talk to anyone anymore. Like when this part of the relationship happens, because they're like, you're seeing all their flaws, you're seeing everything, and all their like issues. You're seeing all, well, not all of them. You're seeing their issues, their problems, their what their self-esteem is really like. Sometimes even their true colors, if they're abusive or something like that. That's when these. That's when it really starts to show. And like this is where like a lot of like true love begins. This is where you find out like does this person really love me, or do they just like my attention? Do they like the way I make them feel? Which is all valid. I don't blame someone for when they get to this point just leaving, especially if their like self-respect is being tore down and things like that, because that's okay. But yeah, like I said, this is around the time where like people really start to fall in love with each other, because when you see someone's flaws and you really care about them, you push them to the side. Like you look past them at like who the person really is. 'Cause, it's like, okay, you have flaws and all that, but I still care about you. And then I want to say like 2 months after, like, you get to a point where like you're really you two are inseparable, and like this is when like you two know you're in love with each other and everything is beautiful. Like not everything, they'll still have problems. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of times at this point there's a lot of issues and things like that. Like you'll get into fights and everything, but at the end of the day you still love each other. But when I got to this, I don't want to say stage. That's kind of what it is. Um, like communication is huge here. Like it's the most important thing, you know. And I failed at that miserably, and that's how I lost my everything. They, I loved them so much. I really did. Like I would still just, I don't know. Like I would literally like skin myself alive just for this person, even today. And I don't know. I just, but yeah, I don't want anyone else to make the same mistake that I did. If you really love someone, talk to them, because like saying how you feel or saying like what saying something like the other person does that bothers you will never ruin a true, like, valuable connection, you know? If someone really loves you, they'll listen to you. They'll do anything that they'll do anything they can just to hear you, just to hear you speak, just to hear you cry. Like, they'll do anything to comfort you, console you, anything like that. So please don't make the same mistake I did. 'Cause